Right. Hello. The Rum Reverend here in the island of Antigua. And I'm privileged today to have with me Timmy from Timmy Time Cocktails. It's quite interesting to actually finally meet Timmy because if you remember the first episode of Caribbean Rum Chronicles, we actually did a rum punch from the islands. And one of the rum punches that we did from Antigua was Tim's Tea. Is that the correct name?
Tim's Tea.
Tim's Tea. And we're going to talk a little bit in a while about Tim's Tea and how he came up with it and what the ingredients are. Because now, rather than have a slide and how we think it should be made, I've now got the expert himself, the man who invented it, who created it. And we'll have a little talk quickly about culture of Antigua, the whole industry and so forth. But first, let me ask Timmy, as everybody knows him. Say hello, please.
Hello.
All right.
Yeah,
And Tim, you are Antiguan.
Yes, I am.
Born and bred?
Born and bred.
Schooled here?
Schooled here.
Yeah?
Everything.
Yeah? Ever lived off the island?
I traveled a bit,
Right.
doing my craft. First it was cricket, and then, gravitated.
Another love of cricket?
Yeah, so I've been all over the world
Batsman
playing.
or bowler?
Open batsman.
Yeah, well, when I played, I bowled.
Well, you can tell by the height. By the height, you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, I wasn't good enough to make it pro.
Well, I played semi-pro, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And Antigua, if anybody doesn't follow cricket, has a very rich heritage.
Very
cricket.
rich. Very rich.
One of, and more than one actually, of some of the finest cricketers that the Caribbean has ever produced. And not just finest in the Caribbean, but finest in the world.
You're so right.
Right? And if you're ever interested in cricket, look it up. If you already know cricket, you will know exactly the sort of characters that we are talking about. But anyway, what got you into it? Bartending?
Bartending. I'm a professional bartender by nature. I've been doing bartending since I left high school.
Right.
At first, I didn't start at bartending. I was a bar hand.
Yeah. Start at the bottom and work way up.
Couldn't mix one drink in that bar. It was just all replenishing and getting stuff ready for the bigger guys. But it's something that I gravitated towards. As the years go by. And yes.
And the passion grew.
It grew.
And then you watch the actual bartenders while you're bar backing and you're watching them creating these drinks, and you think, I want to do that.
I really wanted to do it. But what got me to this position right now is like competitions. I was scared at first of competitions, but you know what? The first one I went into, I think I was pretty good. I was a pretty good bartender after a few years, 5-6 years. I had a lot of flair. I was an exciting guy. My taste, I have a taste bud.
You look like you have the personality from being behind the bar.
Yes, I have a taste bud that is, throughout this world.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm a good cook too. So I have a taste bud. So I pretty much know what goes with what most of the times. Not all the time, most of the times. But and then I say my first competition was 2009, I think. Mango Fest, the local competition. I went in there with some big guns that won it and stuff. And I didn't think I was going to win. I was just going in for the experience. And I did want it. And from that, I said, Timmy, you got to push this a bit further.
From that, you realized that your
yes.
talent was no longer just what you believed. You now got recognition from your peers and people who now recognize that you are doing something well. And the journey has taken you in, and you mentioned to me earlier that it's now taking you into running your own business.
Yes.
And which is Timmy Time Cocktails, as you can see from the shirt
here.
And tell us a little bit about why Timmy Time Cocktails, why you went that direction, and what does Timmy Time Cocktails do?
Okay, I'm gonna draw you back just a bit, a notch before Timmy Time Cocktails. For a quick sec. Even after entering the local competitions, I must say much thanks always to Queen Ferraras, Lisa, and the crew. They brought Angostura competitions, which was like a regional stuff, and even worldwide competitions, which was way another level above the local ones. And even when I won the local one twice, back to back. I went in the year, won it again, and I said, I thought I was real good at that time. But when I started doing some intense training with Angostura, I said, Timmy, you're far from good. I said, Timmy, you're just a guy that works behind the bar. You're not a mixologist, as you know what I mean? So, thanks to Angostura, I I've been in the competition regionally like 3 times because I won it here 3 times in a row.
Right.
You know what I mean? I made brand ambassador for Angostura and
Yeah,
Angostura
which is
products.
part of the prize for
Yeah.
when you win. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm pretty much rounded. I don't think I know enough yet. I'm still learning. I'm always learning.
I think you always learn.
Yeah,
I think
always.
that's one of the things that
Yeah.
creates
But,
humility as well, is that as long as you respect the craft and you always realize there's always something else to learn.
And with being a mixologist, it's not always about just mixing good drinks. You got to be well rounded. You got to be like a psychiatrist. You got to be a doctor. You got to be a flair person, an entertainer. You know what I mean? And Angostura taught me a lot of that, even with media training and stuff. I realized every time I got to go in front of the camera, I had to take a shot or two of some sort of rum to calm me down. Now it's just like natural. And Angostura took me from here to there with media training also. You know what I mean? So yeah. Back now to Timmy Time, where Timmy Time started. All right,
And in fact, while I want to give a quick pause.
Mhm.
Can I have a shot of rum, please? And we can't talk properly. Our phone is dry.
well,
Yeah?
instead of rum,
We're going to come to that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to come to that. We will come to that. But you know, yeah, 2 shots of rum. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Timmy Time.
yes, Timmy Time and how Timmy Time came about. It's something I had planned. I always wanted to start my own cocktail service. I had plans, but I didn't have that little step off as yet. I didn't know where and how. You know what I mean? And then when the COVID hit, pandemic. Before the pandemic, I was doing a little for friends and so a little brunch and little cocktail setup. But when the pandemic hit now and the bars were closed, I started to advertise a bit my own stuff, my own product, and no bars were open. So I had my fans still, my people that come and check me at my bar, my workplace. They always come, and I'm not there, they don't come. You know what I mean? I've learned that through Angostura. People go to bars because of the bartender. I didn't understand it then, but no.
Well, and
When you're not
surprising
there,
enough, with all due respect, people actually don't go to bars for the drinks.
no, not all the time.
Right? They go for the atmosphere, the bartender, the camaraderie, the vibe.
Yeah, it's the vibe that bartender,
Yeah.
the energy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just started posting some stuff on Facebook with my bottle service. And everybody knows that Timmy is the #1 mixologist on island. I have been for years. So I just pushed it and it just got out there and everybody loves the product. It's like quality over quantity at all times. You know what I mean?
So the service basically is that you provide ready mixed cocktails.
Ready mix, but they all mix freshly on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Fresh, and they have as long as you keep them refrigerated.
Yeah, any.
As long as you keep them refrigerated, yeah, they'll go a long way. You can keep them in your fridge for months and months, and they don't. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's mostly fresh.
So
stuff.
you provide them refrigerated. You
Yes.
deliver them cold.
Deliver
freshly
them
made,
cold, freshly made.
and then you can take that, put it in your fridge, and people can leave it there and consume it in their own leisurely time.
But even if it's not refrigerated, because some I give them to people that are traveling also,
Yeah.
with a seal cover and everything.
Yeah.
You can last like 2 days
Right.
without, what I mean,
Right.
the signs of you going bad. But yeah, and this is where Timmy Time is now. It's growing. I've gotten a lot of tourism. It's contact me. A lot of people on island contact me about my product. I'm doing a lot of like weddings, small weddings, parties and stuff now. People just have a little gathering. They want like 12 bottles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here's where. Cheers. Let me just
Cheers.
have a sip. Jaw dry. Yeah. Here's where I used to work for people, and I have my little fan club. My people that come to me. There are people that don't come to my sort of restaurant, because everybody can't afford that type. But no, I reached out to them, so everybody knows Timmy and knows this product. They know I'm a good bartender. A lot of people, they don't know what I mix, and now
They're able to
I
see.
brought it to them.
You can get it out to them,
Right,
rather
so
than
someone's
now
doing it.
wait for them to come to you.
Right. And they're just loving it. Everybody's loving it. I've yet to have any major complaints about my product, and that says.
And would you say, sort of, hopefully, post-COVID, I think we're talking about, that you'd bring a service where you could do bartending people's events, where you could bring your cocktails? Would that be something you'd maybe consider? consider that somebody's
Yes.
having a wedding and they want you to provide the cocktails and the service?
Well, that's what Timmy Time is about now. I do like if you're doing a wedding and you want a cocktail hour, and you're having a cocktail hour, I do it. But I provide also to do the full bar setup. So I'll do cocktails plus a full bar setup.
Right.
That's Timmy Time.
Right.
Because I've been in this like 24 years now, 25.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
Now, it's interesting. The mutual friend of us both, Jamal Bowen, who's been on the show before.
Yeah, that's the boss. That's the boss. That's
Yes,
big
indeed. That's the boss.
I've learned a lot from him, man.
And we've, on many occasions, had conversations about cocktails in the region. What is there? Do you see any change? Because there's not a huge demand, because people who don't understand the culture of rum in the region understand that locals and Caribbean people drink rum in a rum shop or rum bar and so on, and it's quite often it's just rum and mixes. Is that culture changing amongst the locals? Because we all know the cocktails at the hotels.
Right.
Is it changing yet, or do you see any demand?
Yes, let me tell you. This is what I've brought, you know what I mean, to a wider scale of people on the island now. I know guys, you know what I mean. I got guys coming to Timmy Time at my spot, drinking cocktails like crazy. A year ago, you couldn't get guys to drink amaretto sours and, you know what I mean, these mixed in. Most guys would drink a beer or Hennessy or Scotch, you know what I mean, coconut water. I got a lot of people in Antigua right now coming to my spot and just drinking cocktails. You know what I mean? They're loving it. Because I put twists, like even some of the classics. That's what mixologists do. We put twists on them.
Correct.
To just, you know what I mean, enhance
Give it your, and give it your signature.
Yes, man.
Not necessarily.
Because you may go to
It's
a
not necessarily
restaurant.
a bad drink in the first place, but it's your putting your signature, your twist.
And that comes with experience, you know what I mean? You know what goes with what lifts up the drink, you know what I mean? Balancing the outfit with balancing and chemistry.
As you said, like a chef.
Yes.
No different.
And I'm a great cook. So I think in those Angostura competitions, they talk about bar chefs. I added a lot of that. I brought the culinary part of it
along with
the bar. So I was like a bar chef. So I would make a drink. One of the year I made a drink from the raw corn, the kernels. I muddled them out with some basil, and then some fresh lemon juice, some aged Angostura rum, and some Angostura bitters, and double strain that baby. And I explained it. I told them this could be used as a cold soup. You know what I mean? But it doesn't, and it was tasty. I placed first one up. You know what I mean? You know, I tore it up. But you got mixology. You got to be out of the box most of the time.
So the demand is there.
Yeah.
What about the other challenge? Again, something that Jamal and I have discussed is what about the quality of the bartenders? Is that improving? The education side for bartenders?
Yeah.
Because that's the challenge, isn't it?
It is a challenge. It is a challenge. And again, I have that up my sleeve. You know, what I mean, to like venture out into like the resorts mostly. Because most resorts, I'm not bringing down anybody. You go to, you just get a cocktail. A wow, negative. You know what I mean? You do have a few mixologists on the island that are really good. Maybe just a handful, really. The others are just bartenders behind bars. I'm not going to bring them down.
And I think as well.
Wait, hold on. I think even the hotels should, you know what I mean? Knowing that we are a tourism industry, get some people like myself, or even Lisa then, to enhance their bartenders, you know what I mean?
And that's the point I was going to make. I think one of the challenges, and it's a challenge that we've all discussed, Jamal, Lisa, and now yourself, is that we need to get the hotels to recognize that the standards need to be increased, and to improve the offering of the bartenders, so that you can have the bartenders are comfortable, and that comes with a lot of that comes with education, and giving them also the freedom to be a little bit expressive, to try things and do different things.
Of course.
So
that's something I have up my sleeve for Timmy Time. You know, I mean, to venture out into resorts / restaurants. You know what I mean? But doing like a bar rescue, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But cocktail wise, bringing it up, raising the level.
And raising the standards. And that would be something that I think the Caribbean needs, and I think
so.
I think it will happen naturally as well. Because I think what social media and the internet has given the whole world is exposure to everything that's going on in the world, and people can now watch something online, right, and go, I'd like to try something like that.
That is true.
And if you can't make it yourself, you want to go somewhere and say to somebody, I've never had, as you've said, a particular drink. and you can say, okay, I want there's something called Namoeta sour. You can turn around and say, you know, let me give you my version.
My version, and it works because I tweak that baby. Yeah, Amaretto sour on its own is really just a girl drink. It's just like this Serrano and some lime juice. I've added some aromatic bitters and a bit of rum, of course. Some rum, some fresh lemons, more lemons. You know what I mean? The local lemons. We call them sour oranges. They have much more flavor than the yellow lemons.
Right.
So it's like heaven when you taste that. It gives you a buzz also. That's what most people are looking for.
So now let me ask: is your preferred spirit rum, or you work with obviously you work with other spirits as well?
I work with other spirits, vodka of course, rum and vodka mostly. I have gin cocktails, I have whiskey cocktails. I'm a whiskey drinker. If I'm drinking a rum, it has to be a good rum. And it just might have to be Angostura most of the time. Most of the times it's Angostura, but I'll drink a good age rum. But I'm a whiskey guy. I love me some whiskey, straight up whiskey, some soda water on the side. But yeah, Timmy Time is very versatile. Sometimes I have a menu set, but if you come to me, tell me you want this, I'm going to make it for you. What your flavors are like and what you want your base to be, we'll make a cocktail. And I'll tell you, give it a name. And we stick to it.
And before we go and start talking about your cocktails, would you say therefore that you've been more or less self-taught? You've had to learn it on the job,
yes,
and do your own reading and so forth.
Yes, well, you know what I mean. It has to come from you first.
Yeah,
has to come from you. And yes, what it is, as the years go by, I gravitated towards I think this is where I met Lisa really. Every little training session. I was a road boy, yes, a pimpy guy, flurry, you know what I mean, girl's boy. But you know me, my work it was very important. Any little training sessions that they had going on in the island that they sent to the resorts or the hotel, I was always present. Always. You didn't have to go, but I made sure I'm always present. You know what I mean? Doing a lot of reading too. A lot of reading. And a lot of training sessions again. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's testament to sort of people out there who think, I want to be like you, but they don't know how to go about it. There's a lot of information online as well.
Well, even now, it's even easier now because you have everything on your YouTube. Everything. I didn't have all of that.
Right. Yeah. So you don't have to spend the money so much now on buying the books. You can't afford the books. And then when you buy books, the problem is, which one do I buy? Because you might have the budget to buy all of them. Right. So which ones are the important ones? But at least you can gather information on them.
Right, that's true.
So talk to me about your cocktails. Well, we're going to taste this one, aren't we?
Well, yes. I was supposed to bring the Tim's tea.
To the camera,
Tim's tea today, but I brought my version of the old-fashioned rum punch. Made with some good old local Antiguan rum.
And can I say that in all the time I've spent in Antigua, this is conversations I've had before for international guests who think an old-fashioned, when you come to Antigua and you ask for an old-fashioned, you're not going to get what is known internationally as an old-fashioned.
With a whiskey base. So you got to say old-fashioned rum punch.
But even if they're going to give you an old-fashioned rum punch.
Right.
So back to you.
All right. Well, yes, I'm going to give my boy Roger a little whiff of this rum punch. Now, classic old-fashioned rum punch. The main ingredients is some good old rum, dark rum preferably. Could use light if you prefer, but good old dark rum, lemon juice or lime juice. You could mix both. I'd mix both lots of the times. You know. Sugar syrup, brown or white. I use brown most of the time. Some good old aromatic bitters also, Angostura bitters. Some good old nutmeg. That's all. Give it a good shake or you stir it up. That's it. Timmy Time. I make my rum punch today. You won't get a taste of it until maybe the end of next week. So I let it sit there in the rum punch bank. We have a blood bank, the rum punch bank. That's how intense my stuff is. You know, I have it sitting there in the refrigerator in the bank. So I put the date on it and everything, so I know when I can bring it out for you guys. I also put a little hint of lemongrass in the bank, fever grass, just to enhance it a bit. I mean, a little tweak on it. But it's very, very flavorful. Hook me up, Timmy Time Cocktails. I'll give you a whiff. But yeah, Raja.
All right, looking forward to this.
And also in the bottles that I serve, I try to infuse a little bit of fruit with it. Most of the time it's just pineapples or apples, the local pineapple, just to give it that punchy flavor and add some flavor to it.
And actually, the longer you leave that as well,
Oh,
with
yes,
those
yes,
fruit starts to
fermentation.
ferment.
Yes, yes, sir.
Right, it gives it a bit more kick.
Oh, yes.
As it's sitting in the fridge there, or what? Yeah.
No,
Right.
what I've learned from mixology too, here, Raj,
Thank you.
like some people would come to the bar and say, Timmy doesn't have no rum. This doesn't have it. I say, it's balanced. You know, I mean, it's balanced, a balanced drink. 2 or 3 of them will get you there because it's been sitting there. You won't get that bow. But when it hits the system.
But isn't some of that as well in the Caribbean? It's male ego that they have to feel the rum.
But, you know, there's why I use knowledge over with some of my guests. I kind of teach them. Since if I sell you one drink, it's joke farm, and you just get that bow.
You're not going to come back for a second.
You might not want a second one. I might only sell you one drink. I don't want to sell you
and
3 or 4.
business,
And I want you to sit and enjoy yourself. I don't want you to leave so quickly, you know what I mean?
And if you want one drink, and if you're not hungry, you want one drink and you leave, we'll take a shot.
Yes, if you want a
Take a
strong
shot.
one, right.
And then go about your business. But if you want to enjoy the atmosphere
And I think
also
cocktails.
the conversation, that's what
Cocktails are made for enjoyment, you know. Just sit.
All right, well, let's give it a go.
Cheers.
Yes. Oh, yes. Now, the first thing on that is the spice, the variety of spices on the palate is sings straight away on the front end. It's got a great balance of sweetness, right? So it's not overly sweet, it's just right.
Just right.
And in fact, the rum content is also just right as
Just
well.
right. Just right.
Right?
Just right.
And that sometimes they should serve it over the rocks.
Yes.
Right? And as you said, the citrus, it's what did you say? It uses those sour limes.
Yeah, sour oranges.
The sour oranges.
A lot of
what
them.
we call the Seville oranges. Right? And
Like now, not stopping you, I had the first sip, I didn't taste any alcohol. I had another sip, and now it's just
it's
coming back up, you know.
Right. And actually, I don't know how long the pineapple has been infusing in there, but you do get a hint of the pineapple on the back of the palate, which is it's not overly powering. Right?
No, this has just been in there since last night. The pineapples, but the rum punch.
And there's no other juices in there.
No juice, lemon juice.
Just the citrus. All that is citrus.
Citrus.
So and the color is the dark rum and the citrus.
Yes, but it gets an even deeper color. Because if I make it from scratch right now in the bar, it's not going to have this color.
The longer
you get this color from when you sit down.
Yeah.
So I say sit down, and you sit down.
It's actually now that you've mentioned it as well.
You get the second sip.
Yeah, and the Seville orange now is coming through as well. It's not just the citrus, but you're getting that Seville orange.
Right.
And would you say that's superb?
Yes,
that's out of bounds.
That's
Guy Fieri says.
I hardly drink cocktails, but I'm like.
That's Guy Fieri would say that's out of bounds, right? Is the rum punch still the go-to drink of the Caribbean? It is, isn't it?
I think so. Yes, I do think so. Most in my bar where I used to work at Coconut Grove, that's the biggest selling drink, I think.
Yeah.
Like all the people that travel there ask for rum punch. There's when we also have the Tutti Frutti one that I don't use grenadine and stuff in my mixology. You know, I stage up now. That has like just orange juice, pineapple juice, mixed juices, and then the rum and bitters in grenadine. It's a red colored rum punch. But I think if you want an enjoyable drink, quality, freshness, you could even put it as healthy drinking if you want. If there's such a thing. You get an old-fashioned rum punch.
Well, in the Caribbean, we believe that rum is healthy. You know, we believe that it's something that everybody should realize in moderation, and we all say, you know, every alcohol must be consumed in moderation. But just before we finish, I just really want you to talk a little bit about the one that we talked about many episodes ago, which was the Tim's Tea.
All right.
And sort of what can you tell us about Tim's Tea?
Tim's Tea.
While I'm carrying on to sip this.
Yes.
I'm not leaving this.
That's my signature cocktail, the Tim's Tea. What it is, during some of my trainings with Angostura, I've learned to from Jamal and stuff. He's just good guy. He's great. not just only about mixing juice and stuff. These we get creative and you start using herbs and spices and even
And especially local ones.
yes. And we got the best here in the Caribbean. You know what I mean? We got it right here in our backyards. So I said, you know what I mean, this some time ago, I said, that's the first time I saw somebody use a tea bag and infused it and just made a perfect cocktail. So I said, Timmy, come on. You're one of them guys that are very creative, you know. You like to venture out a lot. I said, we have a tea here we call bush tea. That probably the whole Antigua drink every morning.
All the Caribbean.
Yeah.
All the Caribbean have a version of their own bush tea.
Yeah. So I said, let me just try something with this. Then I got some bush tea with about 5 different bush. So sap, lemongrass, Christmas bush, sage, you know what I mean. And I had this tea bag that I always loved. It's called Sweet Dreams. It's a mixture of chamomile, mint, and hibiscus. It's a tea I used to just drink by myself. And it's very, very flavorful. So then I said, let me combine these and see what it's like. I did. I'm always trying stuff. When I'm working in my establishment, yeah, as a bartender, I will waste some of the rum. Waste it up sometimes. And yes, I infused a tea bag in some rum. This way I know we could infuse a tea bag in rum.
In the rum itself.
In the rum, in the rum glass, yeah. Quick.
Yeah.
Like hot water. And I mixed it with the bush tea. And I said, let me do it like an iced tea like now. Fresh lemon juice. Aged rum. And of course the secret stuff, the secret Angostura bitters.
Yeah.
I do nothing without Angostura bitters. I don't know why. It's like a drug to me. I shake it. Pour it out. With some lime leaves, the local lime leaves. Break it up and rub it around the rim and drop it in there. They let a lot of flavor out. If you ever smell a lime leaf, there's no air freshener in the world. It's better than a lime leaf. If I'm yard, you should know that. And I said, wow. I just looked at myself and said, boy, you're the best. You're the best.
And he just hit the button.
Yeah, and I took that drink to the competition the same year and he just tore it up.
Tore it up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the great thing about tea is, and we've talked about this in past episodes, about the fact that because the punch originated from India, tea was one of the important ingredients when it was created in India. And then tea brings tannins, it brings those spices, but it also brings that level of bitterness that balances out with your sweetness.
Sweet, and then you have the sour,
And the sour,
and then a bit of
correct.
strong and weak, you know.
Correct. So when you get that right balance of tea white, it's just spot on.
It's spot on.
And
Nothing
tea also
beats that.
works in other cocktails
Of
too.
course.
Right, wide amount of tea. So, Timmy, I just want to thank you.
Cheers again.
Cheers again.
Big man.
Obviously, if you get to Antigua, Timmy Time Cocktails, you got to look him up. You make sure you stock your hotel, get it delivered. Facebook.
Timmy Time Cocktails, IG, Timmy Time Cocktails.
Right. You've got to try his cocktails. I mean, they're outstanding, as I've said. This one in particular, I mean, I think they all are. Let's be honest. I need to taste more of them. And each time that I'm in Antigua, I will. And in fact, before I leave, somehow I'm going to try Timmy's tea.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So you're leaving tomorrow? Sir?
No, man, I'm staying here a little longer. So.
I got you.
Yeah,
I have your number. I got you.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I hook you up.
So, cheers to everybody.
Cheers. One
All
love,
right.
babes.
Thank you very much. And
Timmy from Timmy Time Cocktails.
COVID touch.
One love.
One love.
Yes, sir.
All the best.
Respect.
Thank you.